Fever's Sophie Cunningham clarifies comments on WNBA expansion to Detroit, Cleveland after backlash. Sophie Cunningham became a trending topic this week after the WNBA announced its newest expansion franchises in Cleveland, Detroit, and Philadelphia. The Indiana Fever guard was asked her thoughts on the latest expansion cities and questioned whether players would want to be going to Cleveland and Detroit over other cities that bid on teams like Miami, Kansas City, and Nashville. Those comments, unsurprisingly, got picked apart, with the cities of Cleveland and Detroit responding. WNBA fans quickly reminding Cunningham of the history of the WNBA in those cities, and many pointing out the hypocrisy of complaints about Detroit and Cleveland from a player in Indianapolis. Cunningham spoke with reporters again Thursday and tried to clarify that her comments weren't trying to disparage the fans in Detroit or Cleveland, but rather she wants to see some different destinations and teams outside NBA markets, via Tony East. First of all, I know the history behind the WNBA. I know both of those cities had teams before, and they got us where we're at, so I'm thankful for that, Cunningham said. All I was really getting at is Broadway, the off-court lifestyle. So I think that is really intriguing. I think Miami is really intriguing. That's all I was getting at. I'm thankful for what they've done for our history of the sport. I think it'd be fun to get some teams outside the NBA market. I do think there's benefits when you do have an NBA team. But that's all I was getting at. I think people totally misread that situation. I would never speak down upon middle-class, blue-collar working people. That's where I come from. I'm from Missouri. I get I'm in Indiana, and that's why I'm kind of hinting at. Broadway sounds fun. Sophie in Miami sounds fun. All I was saying. While Miami doesn't fit the non-NBA market portion of the argument, that seems to be a player dreaming of some off days at the beach. That is the most interesting point Cunningham raises. The WNBA has certainly leaned into expansion markets with existing basketball infrastructure. The league is trying to ensure the next round of expansion teams have strong backing and facilities, and cities with NBA arenas are going to ensure that type of venue. There's also a trust in established NBA and NFL ownership groups to know how to run an organization in a way new owners from outside professional sports do not, as evidenced by how far behind the Portland expansion team is compared to Toronto or where Golden State was at the same time last year. At the same time, it does raise questions about whether they're capitalizing on their boom in popularity to the fullest degree. There is risk in going to a non-NBA city, but it also offers a chance to be the basketball team in town. Risk aversion is understandable, but you could certainly argue the WNBA stands to gain more from expanding its footprint outside the existing landscape of NBA markets. The success of the Aces in Las Vegas would be Exhibit A in this argument. All of this is to say, had Cunningham started out by saying this, the reaction would have been different. Instead, her original comments felt like all too familiar jabs to Cleveland and Detroit, who responded as you would expect. There's merit to the idea the WNBA would be better off exploring some new venues. But you also can't just target cities players want to spend time in for expansion.